I wanted to talk about, today I'm just going to rant for a while. Just going to sit back, make myself comfortable, bring this a little forward. I guess I rant usually, but I'm going to read you something. I'm going to read you, for those of you who are not on my private Facebook page, I'm going to share with you a really vulnerable post that I posted, and then I'm going to relate it to adoption. So here it goes. Yesterday, I gave my power away. I gave it away because I care too much about what other people think of me and the judgments they have of me. I gave it away because I let others' words have meaning to me and I let it define me. I gave it away because I felt shame. But here's the thing. I'm not afraid of failure, and I'm not afraid of making mistakes. Brooke Castillo, she is a world-renowned life coach and you can find her on Life Coach School, teaches that life is about failing forward. Remember that one. When you start showing up in life and living out loud, which I'm sure you'd agree I do, you'll have 50% success and you'll have 50% failure. And I include making mistakes in that. So are you willing to fail? I am. I promise to fail every single day of my life if that's the only way to success, because the alternative just doesn't serve me. Rachel Hollis, she wrote Girl Wash Your Face, go read it if you haven't, and has a new book, Girl Stop Apologizing. I'm obsessed. She has a podcast called Rise, and I listened to it the other day and it spoke to me. She says that people who have become a huge success in life will never judge you because they know how much failure it took to get there. Listen, I work my ass off every single day, despite the amount of fear I live with every single day, in order to reach my crazy, audacious goals in life. No matter how much I make an ass of myself, and oh, I do, and no matter how much people feel the need to judge rather than empower, those are words my son's principal used, which I love, judge rather than empower. I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm better than that, and I know it. That doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt to my core. It doesn't mean that I still don't get shaken or break down and cry, which I did just the other day. I do. I suppose if my heart wasn't so frickin' big and I didn't care, I wouldn't. But I do. Here's the thing. If I was afraid of what other people thought, I would not be a mom today. Am I perfect? Are you? But I know what's important to me, and I know how I want to show up for my son. I also know that I will likely repeat my mistakes until it truly sinks in. So what other people have to say or what they think truly does not matter. It's their issue. I'm willing to continue making mistakes and continue being imperfect, both privately and publicly. And what anybody thinks is not my concern. It just can't be. I will continue to spread my truth and my love in order to continue to grow the best way I know how and learn the best way that works for me. Of course, I want to continue to be successful. I will keep striving to reach my goals, but life is about the journey and not the end game. And it's about how we show up during that journey that makes all the difference. This is my truth. Some of you may hear this and think, yeah, but, or I don't agree with, or whatever you might be thinking. Others may say, Amen, Becca, you're right on. Either way, it's all good. I'll continue to learn from you. I'll continue to do me in the best way I know how, making a shit ton of mistakes and experiencing a lot of failure along the way. My hope is that we can all approach our own truth in the most loving way possible. We have only one life. Let's do it with love and acceptance, giving people the benefit of the doubt and empowering them along their journey as well as on our own journey. So I posted that the other day in response to some responses that I got and labeling and judgment that I got from making a mistake out loud without ill intent at all. In fact, just the opposite. And it felt very hurtful, and I shook and I cried. And then I got on the phone with a prospective client. Hopefully they didn't hear it in my voice. But I wanted to read that to you, and I know a lot of you on here have already read that on my personal page if you're friends with me, because I think it relates a lot, I'm going to grab my water, to the world of adoption. So what do I mean by that? And let me break it down a little bit. One is, I love that term, failing forward, right? In the world of adoption, about 23 to 5% of adoptions fail or fall through, meaning that a birth mother, expectant mother, changes her mind and decides to parent or somehow disappears, and the adoption that you expected to happen didn't happen. Well, you could look at that as a failure, if that's the way you want to term it, but we fail forward. And if 50% of life is success and 50% is failure, we need to work through those failures and keep moving forward. We need to fail forward and not let it stop us, because that's what life is about, a whole bunch of failures and a whole bunch of successes. So don't ever let that stop you. Easier said than done, especially when we're talking about a lot of money. But I truly feel like there are ways to work through that, and no matter how many quote unquote failures you have within the course of your adoption journey, I hope that you too will fail forward. When you go through the adoption journey, people are going to tell you their opinions all over the place. So you need to be very determined and very convicted in your decision, because as people are throwing their opinions at you, and some of them will be hurtful and some of them will be from the people that you most expected to support you, you need to let it somehow bounce off of you or learn what you need to learn from it and move forward. Because their words are their issues. Their opinions are a reflection of them onto you, and we cannot let that stop us. Most of the time it's because they feel this need to protect you, but you just have to know it's there. And if you are thinking about adopting transracially, I would encourage you to do it all day long, up and down and around the bed. I've grown so much in so many ways because of the fact that I adopted somebody of a different ethnicity, a different skin color than me. And you have to be really willing to get messy, to have your feelings hurt, to have really hard conversations, to take a step back and look at yourself and determine what what that means for you and for your child. And it gets hurtful, and it gets personal, and it gets really vulnerable. But I hope that you will choose, as I am choosing, to just roll up my sleeves and keep doing it, and keep moving forward, and keep learning, and teach others along the way. But let's do it with love, compassion, empowerment, and understanding. Because you see, what happens is that it would be very easy for me to just continue building up my walls and back away and say, I'm out. I'm out. I'll do me in my own way in this quiet corner where nobody can see me. But what message will that send to my son? And what message does that send to myself? I love that when Rachel Hollis says the only people that, that people who have experienced great success in their lives will never judge you, because they know how much they've been through to get there. And they know how much criticism they endured and how much failure they endured. And so it's just that staying in your lane, being true to yourself, and continuing to move forward and let yourself make the mistakes. Let yourself fail a million times a day in order to succeed. The adoption process gets really difficult sometimes, and you just have to keep pushing through that. You can do it with a positive attitude and a glass half full mindset, even better. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect. But we need to stop calling people out in public. We need to stop labeling people. We need to accept that people make mistakes multiple times, and sometimes the same mistake 3 times, hopefully not more than that. I've learned my lesson. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you. I hope for you a very smooth adoption journey if you're going through it. Once you start, you're actually always in the adoption journey. So just know that it gets messy and it gets vulnerable, and your feelings will get hurt, and you'll shake and you'll cry and you'll ask questions. Don't stop asking questions. Don't stop learning. Whether it has to do with transracial, whether it has to do with adoption and what that means for your child. You know, you can get all the things that I was talking about today. You'll probably experience that within the adoption community itself. But I keep learning. I can still listen to adoptees who hate the fact that they were adopted or hate everything about it, and learn from it and move forward and try to hear why, and try to continue asking the right questions so that maybe my son, I pray my son has a different kind of experience. We're not perfect. Let's keep failing forward together. Let's keep making mistakes together while empowering each other. And that's my message for all of us today. I hope that you'll take something from it, and that's it.